This jury of our community on August 27th found each of you guilty, well, found you, Mr. Beasley, guilty of aggravated murder, conspiracy to commit murder, murder, felonious assaults on the victim, the two daughters, and the driver, the Uber driver, all with gun specifications.
You can just feel the weight in the room. The judge doesn't waste a second. She lays it all out. These aren't minor charges. This is about a calculated, cold-blooded ambush on a woman and her kids. You don't get more serious than that.
I'm not sentencing you gentlemen based on your race, your ethnicity, your gender, or your religion. Do you understand that, Mr. Beasley?
Yes.
Do you understand that, Mr. Skanes?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Gentlemen, these crimes, these are horrible crimes in and of themselves. And the details of the crimes that you committed are even worse. We've seen a week-long trial of both of you stalking Allison Appling France for days. Hunting her. And thank goodness for the great work of the Cleveland Police Department and their homicide unit, because they showed us this hunting. Their crime strategy unit, the videos, the cameras in this community showed both of you out there hunting, stalking this victim.
When a judge uses the word hunting, it sends a chill down your spine. This wasn't a heat-of-the-moment crime. This was stalking, planning, waiting. They treated her like prey. It's horrifying.
And what's sad is on January 5th, you tried, it didn't get done. The messages and the text messages and the evidence that came into this trial showed that you were hired to kill this lady. This community and this jury and this court watched the actions that both of you took on January 10th as Miss Allison Appling France and her two children went shopping at Target. And when they returned home, watching as you, Mr. Beasley, got out of that van and you, Mr. Skanes, sitting in that truck as you brutally executed her in front of her children. It was cold, it was calculated murder, completely devoid of any humanity. Even now, neither of you have shown one bit of remorse to anyone here. You were given a chance to participate in a pre-sentence investigation to help explain how you both, having been raised in good neighborhood with good schools and good families, became so dead inside that you could gun down a young mother in front of her small children for some money. Think about it. You sold your lives for that bit of money you got to kill a young mother.
I want to pause here, because this is where we really understand the gravity. A mother, ambushed and killed while her two little girls watched. There's no sentence on earth that can undo that moment. You can't unsee that trauma.
You value your own lives as little as you valued Miss Appling France's life. True justice in this case is beyond the reach of this court. But this court values lives, especially the lives of little children you terrorized and scarred when they had to witness their own mother getting gunned down, inches away from them. These little girls cannot live in fear that someday you're free in this world.
The judge doesn't just punish them. She strips away their excuses. These men came from decent neighborhoods, went to school, had opportunities. And yet, they chose to kill for money. Cold, calculated, and absolutely heartless.
So based on that, based on the evidence this court has heard, Mr. Beasley, for the record, the state has merged counts 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 12 with count 1. And count 1 is aggravated murder. The potential sentence I'm looking at, your potential sentence is life with the possibility of parole after 20, 25.
Beasley gets life without parole, and it still doesn't feel like enough. Because what's justice when 2 children are left motherless? When they live every day with that last memory?
On count number 13, having weapon while under disability, that's a felony of the 3rd degree. I'm going to sentence you to 36 months, and I'm going to run that concurrent to count 1. Count number 9, 10, and 11 will be served consecutive to the aggravated murder, which is, again, life without parole after, well, it's 9 years with parole eligibility, with life without parole. I think I said that correctly. Mr. Filiaccio, is that accurate?
It is, Judge, with regard to count 1, and then there will be one other 3 requirement specification, I believe, on count 9.
Count number 9, correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now here's the twist. Skanes didn't pull the trigger, but he sat there, watched, drove, gassed up the truck. And the court says, you're just as guilty. And honestly, I agree, because silence during a murder is complicity.
All right, you can take him out. Mr. Skanes, in regard to your case, I have to make a statement here that you're just as guilty as the shooter. You were in that car. You're the guy, the bank driver, the guy who's sitting in the car as the guy goes into the bank and robs the bank. You're just as guilty as the guy who was robbing the bank. You were complicit in this murder, and this court found you guilty of those offenses. I found that you acted in concurrence with Mr. Beasley, and the fact that you stood here and tried to act like you had no idea what was going on is disgusting to this court, because you knew, you were there. It was clear as day what was going on in that van. And thank God for video cameras, because the video cameras of the trucking company showed you sitting in that van, sitting there with Mr. Beasley, sitting in that gas station talking with Mr. Beasley, pumping gas for that car or that truck. And then after that horrific murder, not saying a word. You're just as guilty as far as this court's concerned.
This case cuts deep, not just because of the violence, but because of how casually human life was traded for money. These weren't strangers in an alley. These were men who had chances and chose to become predators. The judge was right. True justice might be out of reach, but accountability, that was served.
So in that regard, Mr. Skanes, I'm going to impose the same sentence. On count 1, I'm going to sentence you to life without parole with a 3 and a 6-year 9 gun specification. As for count number 9, I'm going to sentence you a sentence of 8 years with an indefinite prison sentence of 4 years, half the prison term, for a maximum sentence of 12. That total prison sentence will be 11 to 15 years. Count 10, felonious assault, I'm going to sentence you to 8 to 12 years. And count 11, I'm going to sentence you again to 8 to 12 years. I'm going to run counts 9, 10, 11 consecutive to count 1. And I'm going to ask Mr. Skanes, do you have the money or means, or Mr.